Yeah, man.
Like when you're traveling and dealing with people, I'm assuming you've met people that are just so adamant that like marijuana is evil, the bane of society. How do you deal with people like that? In a constructive way.
Yes.
I've run into it a few times, but if I'm honest, since Ron and I have been doing this and since we've started this organization, we've been well received everywhere. For the most part.
Well, yeah, there are a few.
There are a few. I go back to the basics. If you can tell me why the U.S. government holds a patent for cannabinoids, the components in marijuana, as antioxidants and neuroprotectants, if you can give me a reason why they have that, then okay, I'll just go home. If you can tell me why since 1975, 74, the U.S. government has produced marijuana at the University of Mississippi, and they have distributed it to a handful of patients around the country as medicine, then fine, I'll just go home. If you can tell me why those two things are happening, I'll give up. There's no way. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think it's also an interesting fact that we can buy lotion at Walmart that's made out of hemp. We can buy clothes made out of hemp. You can buy candles. You can buy lamp oil. You can buy hemp seed oil. You can buy all that, but you cannot grow your own hemp plants, and you can't purchase it legally. I don't understand that.
The marijuana and the hemp plant and its many uses had everything to do with what made it illegal. And why this medicine was snatched out from under the American people. Not just the American people, because those same people kept pushing until 1961. They signed a treaty with 167 other countries to make it illegal there too, so we could be the boss. Yes, sir.
Now, I have heard talk that Alabama is poised to be the first state in the southeast to pass a medical marijuana bill and to be the leader in that arena in the southeast. I was wondering what your views on that are.
We really think that it's going to happen. We've, like I said, we've got the right legislator, and a lot of the legislators that are friends with him, hold him in high esteem, have been staunchly opposed to this. Ron and I have spent a lot of time down there, and we've talked to them in their office and been all but thrown out.
We had one guy all but physically throw us out of his office down there. That was last year, and now that Brown has come on board, somebody sent him an email, and he was like, yeah, I think it's real interesting, and it's something I'm going to look into. I want to talk to, I hold K.L. Brown in the highest regard, and I'd like to sit down and talk with him about the bill. But I think it's something that I can do. And he practically threw us out of his office last year.
And and there's never been somebody on that side of the aisle that's picked this up as a mantle and tried to run with it anywhere. Regardless of Alabama, you've not had any Republican legislators in these other states pick it up and run with it. And that's why we think we stand a real good chance of getting this thing through this next session.
What is the biggest impediment to that? What is standing in the way of it? Like, what are the reasons or the pressures?
I think our biggest impediment is the money to be made from the pharmaceutical company and what they're going to lose. If you can grow your own medicine in a locked enclosure at your house, that sure does take a bite out of the pharmaceutical industry and everything around it. And
It will reduce those.
we really haven't had a huge amount of religious angst toward what we're doing. We actually talked to the guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the guy that is the big Southern Baptist fella down at the State House that comes through, and he's a lobbyist basically. But we've talked to him, and he has never come against us. And it makes sense to me This doesn't have a political stripe. It doesn't have a religious affiliation. I don't care who you are. You get sick, and there's a time coming when you or somebody you love are going to need this, rather than be an addict. I was given that choice. I was given the choice: suffer or be an addict. And I'm never going back. I'm not apologetic.
But do you think that because the Republicans are taking this bill, that now the Democrats might be more opposed to it simply because of partisanship?
I doubt it, very seriously. We've got real good relationships on that side of the aisle too, and there are Democrats that we went down there, we passed them in the hall, you know, they knew why we were down there. They passed us in the hall and say, you know where I'm at. Never had to go talk to them.
Who was the person who introduced the previous bill?
Representative Patricia Todd, love her. She she is somebody that will stand her ground too.